My name is Emily Hayes. And looking back, I never imagined that our first family Christmas gathering in years would turn into a battlefield. But as I sipped my wine that evening, surrounded by the twinkling lights of our old ranch house in Montana's Bitterroot Valley, my mother dropped her bombshell like a thunderclap in a clear sky. Emily, maybe it's best if you don't come around for holidays anymore. We'll act like we hardly know you. I choked out a laugh, too shocked to process it. But then it hit me, this whole setup was no accident. They figured I'd slink away, crushed and compliant. What they didn't count on was that I'd been piecing together their scheme for months, armed with evidence that would flip the script. 5 years earlier, I'd made what folks called this selfless move. At 35, I was killing it as a marketing exec in Seattle, with a sleek condo overlooking Puget Sound and a salary that let me jet off to conferences without blinking. Life was fast-paced, ambitious, and mine. Then Dad's stroke hit like a freight train one crisp autumn morning while he was out checking the fences on our family ranch near Missoula. Mom called me in hysterics Susan Hayes, the tough-as-nails woman who'd wrangled 3 kids and 100 acres through blizzards and droughts. Suddenly sounded like she'd shatter with the next breath. "I can't face this without you," she whispered. And just like that, my world pivoted. The Hayes Ranch had been in our family since the late 1800s, homesteaded by my great-grandparents who braved the frontier for a slice of big sky country. It was more than land, 300 acres of rolling pastures, a sturdy log home with a wraparound porch, and barns full of history. Dad had dreamed of retiring there, fixing up the old windmill and expanding the horse stables. Now, his boots sat mud-caked in the mudroom, and Mom wandered the property like a lost calf, calling out for him in the quiet hours. My brother Ryan flew in from Denver for the funeral, his tailored suit and Rolex gleaming under the chapel lights. At 42, he was a hotshot investment banker, pulling in 7 figures with a corner office that screamed success. He stayed 3 days, delivered a polished eulogy about Dad's grit, then bolted back to his deals. "Markets wait for no one," he said, clapping my shoulder at the airport. "You get it." My sister Laura drove over from Portland, where she ran a boutique graphic design firm. 39, with a cozy house, a supportive husband, and 2 energetic preteens. She lingered a week, helping sort Dad's things. But then, the kids have soccer, and Tom's swamped at work. She hugged me fierce, vowed Zoom calls every weekend, and vanished into the Oregon rain. That left me. I quit my job on a rainy Friday. My boss, Karen, stared like I'd lost my mind. "You're flushing a stellar career down the drain. Your mom could hire in home care. Montana has programs for that." But hired help couldn't sit with Mom through her midnight breakdowns, reminiscing about Dad's barbecues or how he'd dance her around the kitchen to old country tunes. They couldn't gently redirect her when grief turned to confusion, or handle the ranch chores that piled up like snowdrifts. I sold my condo, boxed up my life, and drove back to the ranch. My old bedroom still had the faded horse posters on the walls, and my power suits hung awkwardly next to flannel shirts. The locals in Missoula praised me like a hero. "Such a devoted daughter," they'd say at the feed store. "Susan's blessed." But heroes don't lie awake tallying lost opportunities, the promotions I missed, the networking events that faded away, the boyfriend who ghosted because long distance isn't my thing. Heroes don't watch their siblings thrive while they fade into the background, becoming the invisible glue holding everything together. Ryan checked in monthly, usually from his Bluetooth in traffic. "How's Mom holding up?" Then it'd pivot to his latest merger or stock tips. Laura managed bi-weekly calls, squeezed between client pitches and family outings. They'd thank me for manning the fort, like I was babysitting the ranch instead of watching Mom's spirit ebb while mine frayed at the edges. But I stuck it out, through her sunny days baking apple pies from our orchard, through stormy nights where she'd accuse me of hiding Dad's tools, through VA appointments and therapy sessions where we'd unpack her growing forgetfulness. 5 years of being the rock. I thought it built character. But really, it just made me question if love always came with such a steep price. If I'd foreseen that Christmas ambush, the calculated betrayal, I might have armored up sooner. Or maybe not. Because some truths only emerge from the wreckage of what you believed about kin. Patricia Langford showed up on a golden September afternoon, pulling up in a shiny Lexus with designer luggage in tow. Mom had mentioned her old bridge club pal from back in the day might visit, but I wasn't prepared for the polished woman who emerged, silver bob haircut, cashmere sweater, and pearls that screamed old money. "Susan, darling," she air-kissed Mom, then sized me up. "And you must be Emily. Your mom sung your praises." Her grip was like a vice, her eyes appraising me like livestock at auction. "I've been fretting about you since Jack passed," Patricia cooed over coffee on the porch, overlooking the valley. "This ranch is a handful for just 2 gals. Must wear you thin." Her gaze lingered on me, implying the you was plural. Mom perked up around her, swapping stories about old rodeos and church potlucks. Patricia, widowed 2 years prior, claimed her late husband left her set for life, and now she gave back by aiding friends. She crashed in the guest room just for a spell, but her stuff multiplied, closets overflowing, her lotions lining the bathroom. Subtle shifts began. She rearranged the den for better flow, suggested fresh paint to brighten things, eyed Dad's antique saddles like they were clutter. "This spread's gotta be worth a mint," she mused one evening, leafing through a real estate app on her phone. Missoula's booming, prime acreage, water rights, historic charm. You could cash out and snag a cozy condo in town, maybe with senior amenities. Mom nodded thoughtfully. Ideas she'd never entertained before. No more fence mending or winter shoveling. "Mom, this is our roots," I reminded her. "Dad always said, Jack's gone." "Honey," Patricia cut in softly. "Gotta think practical now." Ryan rang that weekend, unusually peppy. "Patricia sounds like a godsend. Mom raves about her. Maybe you can catch a breather. Get back to the grind." "This is my grind," I shot back. "Is it, though? You're pushing 40. Eminencia. Time to chase your dreams again." Laura echoed it. "Patricia emailed me. Such a sweetheart. She's got fresh eyes on the ranch. We want the best for all of us." Patricia's web tightened. To outsiders, the vet, neighbors, Mom's doc, she was the model helper, lauding my dedication. Alone, she'd needle. "You seem wiped out, dear. All this giving. And what do you get?" "Susan might thrive with pros. Or, heard your old Seattle firm filled your spot with a young gun. Time flies." "Ha!" She tagged along to Mom's checkups, quizzing on meds and cognitive tests under Montana's elder care laws. She'd jot notes, nodding at mentions of Mom's mild cognitive impairment. "Best decide big stuff while she's sharp," she'd say post-appointment. Mom started parroting her. "Maybe I'm a drag. The ranch is too much. You shouldn't tie your life to an old-timer's woes." I saw Mom morphing, the fierce rancher now mulling, letting go. One dusk, I caught Patricia snapping pics of Dad's old deed boxes in the study. "Just inventory for insurance," she claimed, but her screen flashed, "Valuation meet tomorrow," snapping. Doubt bloomed. This wasn't kindness. It was a calculated play. And I was the pawn in her game. October winds whipped through the valley, carrying change like fallen leaves. Patricia had mastered her role as the ideal companion, outshining me without breaking a sweat. She was attentive yet breezy, cheerful without pushiness, always there minus the baggage of my resentment. Emily looks frazzled. I overheard her tell Mom one morning over oatmeal. Caregiving can breed bitterness. Maybe she needs a timeout. Mom's reply stung. She's been snappy lately. Snappy? I'd held my tongue through Patricia's helpful med tweaks. Her chats about durable powers of attorney under Montana law. Her intrusion into our quiet evenings. Voicing concerns just painted me as the jealous one. The control freak, exactly her aim. Thanksgiving brought Ryan's call. Laced with edge. Patricia says you're being tough to work with. She's pitching in, show some thanks. Thanks? She's a stranger turning our home upside down. Our home? He snorted. When did you last chip in on property taxes? You're freeloading while she's footing bills, like that new well pump you ignored. I hadn't known about the pump. Patricia had it installed while I ran errands, waving the receipt like a trophy. No biggie, friends help friends. But we weren't friends. This felt like a takeover. Subtle and slick. Laura's texts turned judgy. Patricia mentioned you leaving Mom unsupervised. Risky with her spells. If it's too much, own it, no shame. Unsupervised? I dashed to the co-op for feed. The bank for bills. Ranch life didn't pause. But Patricia spun it as neglect, making me the villain. The kicker hit mid-November. Patricia pushed updating Mom's estate plan. Just to keep it fresh, she said, touting a Missoula lawyer specializing in elder law. The slot clashed with my long-overdue physical. Go get checked, she urged sweetly. Your well-being counts too. I'll chaperone. Routine stuff. They returned with Mom dazed, rubbing her eyes, echoing Patricia's every word. The attorney's great. Clarified it all. That night, Mom's pill sorter was jumbled, morning doses swapped. Her occasional anxiety, med now daily. Doc's orders, Patricia said, flashing a dubious note. Didn't he loop you in? This could be over-medication, illegal without consent, I argued. Her smile stayed sweet. Eyes cold. Or, are you just micromanaging? Susan. Emily's at it again. Mom frowned my way. Let her help.
Dear.
Why stir the pot? I turned outsider in my own ranch. My worries twisted into paranoia. Patricia logged incidents in her notebook, sighing to Mom, tracking for the doc. Poor Emily's cracking under stress. Ryan bypassed me for updates. Laura forwarded burnout articles. Patricia's concerned. We're all rooting for you. They treated me like a glitch to fix. While Mom drifted, not into full dementia, but a foggy compliance, ripe for suggestion. Pre-Christmas, I eavesdropped on Patricia's call from the barn. All set. The ranch lists post-holidays. Equal split after my cut. She won't push back. No backing. No funds. By dinner, Emily's out, frozen in the hayloft. The plot crystallized. Erase me. Villainize my care. Cash in on the ranch. But she'd underestimated me. 5 years hadn't broken me, it honed me. I dialed an old college buddy, Jordan Reeves, now a top elder law attorney in Bozeman. He'd lost his grandma to a similar scam. Emily? Long time. What's up? I need expertise on financial elder abuse under Montana statutes. His tone sharpened. Start from square one. The pre-holiday week became my war room. I documented everything, screenshots of Patricia's notes, audio clips of her manipulations, copies of Mom's altered meds. Jordan guided. Montana's Vulnerable Adult Protection Act covers this. Coercion. Undue influence. Gather proof. We'll build a case. Meanwhile, Patricia ramped up the holiday facade. Stringing lights on the porch. baking with Mom. But cracks showed. She found an appraiser's card in Mom's purse. Pushed market value chats. Ryan and Laura arrived early. All smiles. Praising Patricia like a savior. Christmas Eve. I met Jordan in town. He reviewed my files. Solid. Altered meds could be criminal negligence. The estate tweaks, if coerced, voidable. We'll confront at dinner. With a neutral witness, a doc friend of mine.
Elena Vasquez.
Board certified in geriatrics. Back home. The air hummed with tension. Patricia eyed me warily, sensing the shift. Dinner loomed like a showdown in an old western, family at the table. Secrets ready to draw. As we sat, roast beef from our herd, pies from the orchard, Mom's words hit. The disowning line. Ryan nodded. Laura averted eyes. Patricia smirked subtly. I stayed calm. Before we carve this up, let's air some truths.
I slid my phone across.
Playing a recording. Patricia's call about the split and cut. The room froze. What is this? Ryan blustered. Evidence, I said. Of conspiracy to exploit Mom under Montana law. Patricia's been dosing her meds wrong, Dr. Vasquez confirmed it could induce confusion, making her sign anything.
Elena,
whom I invited as a family friend, nodded. Blood tests show oversedation. Reversible. But intentional? That's abuse. Patricia paled. Lies. I was helping. Jordan. Stepping in from a hall. Not according to these docs. Forged notes. Undue influence on the will revision void now. Ryan. Your emails plotting the sale? Wire fraud territory. Laura gasped. Ryan, you said it was just planning. He stammered. It was for everyone's good. The ranch taxes are killer. Patricia offered a fair split. Fair. I countered. After her finder's fee? That's elder exploitation. Punishable by up to 10 years in Montana. Mom's eyes cleared. Piecing it. You. All of you. Not all, I said gently. I fought for you. The unraveling sped up. Jordan laid out more. Patricia's history. Prior investigations in Idaho for similar cons. Dismissed for lack of proof. This time, we have tapes. Witnesses. Ryan deflated. I thought it was business, secure the future. Laura sobbed. She fed me stories about Emily neglecting you. I believed her because I felt guilty not helping more. Patricia bolted for the door. But Jordan had alerted the sheriff. Deputies waited outside. You're under arrest for suspected elder abuse and fraud. As cuffs clicked, she snarled. You idiots ruined a gold mine. Emily, you're chained here forever. Mom stood. No one's chained. Emily chooses her path. Post-arrest. The house quieted. Elena examined Mom. We'll taper the meds. Full recovery in weeks. Recommend therapy for all. Ryan faced charges, conspiracy, fined heavily, probation. Laura avoided prosecution by cooperating, testifying to manipulation. But the real shift? Reconciliation talks. Over cocoa that night, Mom hugged me. You saved our legacy. But I see now I leaned too hard. Time for balance. With Patricia hauled off and the deputy's taillights fading into the snowy night, our ranch house felt like a storm had passed, debris everywhere, but the structure intact. Ryan sat slumped at the table, tie loosened, staring at his hands like they belonged to a stranger. Laura wiped tears, her makeup streaked, whispering apologies that hung in the air. Mom, with Elena's quick med adjustment kicking in, looked sharper, her eyes regaining that frontier spark I'd missed. Jordan packed his briefcase. Under Montana law, The wills reverted to pre-Patricia version. Ranch stays with Susan. Heirs equal upon passing, no forced sale. Ryan, your involvement? DA might plead to misdemeanor if you cooperate fully. Ryan nodded numbly. I got greedy. Markets tanked my portfolio. Thought flipping the ranch would bail me out. Patricia pitched it at a conference, said she specialized in estate optimization. I introduced her to Mom as a favor. Optimization. I echoed. That's code for theft. You violated fiduciary duty laws. Laura interjected. He roped me in later, said Emily was burning out.
That pros could step in.
Patricia sent proof. Texts. Photos of neglect. I signed a support letter for guardianship, without thinking. Elena chimed. That's how these scams work. Exploit guilt. Isolate the caregiver. But, Emily, your vigilance? Textbook prevention. Mom turned to me. How'd you know? Intuition. Plus records. Started noticing med swaps. Checked Montana's pharmacy board guidelines. Taped convos legally. One party consent state. The weight lifted slightly.
Mom, I'm sorry.
I'll testify. Pay restitution. Whatever it takes. Laura, me too. Therapy? Family counseling? I want to earn back trust. Jordan advised. Start with affidavits. DA's office tomorrow. As they left, Ryan to a motel. Laura crashing in her old room. Mom and I sat by the fire. They betrayed us, she said softly. But their family. Flawed. But ours. Montana's big on second chances. Think homesteaders starting over. She smiled faintly. Your dad always said, forgive, but verify. Next day's blurred. Statements to the sheriff. Patricia charged with felony elder abuse. Montana Statute 45-5-207. Up to 10 years. Phoenix. Her past cases reopened in other states. Ryan's plea. Community service. Restitution covering legal fees. Laura. No charges, but mandated counseling. I returned to routine. Ranch chores. Mom's care, but with help. Elena connected us to Montana's aging services. In-home aids for breaks. Cognitive therapy for Mom. No more solo burden, she said. Weeks post-Christmas. Mom's fog lifted fully. We walked the pastures. Her step sure. Emily, you've given enough. Seattle called. Karen had emailed. SVP role open. Flexible remote options. But the ranch. We'll manage. Hire a foreman for heavy lifting. You commute weekends. Ryan visited monthly. Humboldt helped with fences. No finance talk. Laura brought the kids. Rebuilding bonds through picnics. Stories. One spring evening, as calves frolicked, Ryan confessed, I envied your bond with Mom. Felt like an outsider. So I lashed out. Laura, jealousy blinded me. Patricia preyed on it. I nodded. We all messed up.
Me?
Clung too tight. Fearing loss. But family's not zero-sum. Mom, lesson learned. Communicate before crisis. And cherish the givers. The ranch bloomed, symbol of resilience. I took the job part-time. Balancing worlds. Forgiveness wasn't instant, but it grew like Montana wildflowers after fire. Patricia's trial loomed, but our focus shifted, healing. Group therapy unpacked resentments, my isolation, their guilt. Ryan sold assets for therapy funds. Laura designed ranch logos pro bono. By summer, barbecues returned, laughter echoing. Not perfect, but real. Summer sun baked the Montana earth, turning our pastures golden as we gathered for our first post-betrayal barbecue. Ryan manned the grill. flipping burgers from our grass-fed beef, while Laura's kids chased fireflies near the creek. Mom supervised from the porch, her laughter carrying on the breeze, clear-headed, engaged, thanks to proper meds and weekly check-ins with Elena. It hadn't been smooth sailing. Patricia's prelim hearing exposed more. She'd run similar cons in Wyoming and Idaho, using fake creds to infiltrate families. Montana prosecutors built an airtight case, my recordings key evidence. She pled to reduce charges. 8 years. Restitution. Ryan's probation included 200 hours community service at a senior center. Eye-opener, he admitted over coffee. Saw real sacrifice, no glory. Laura's therapy unearthed her insecurities. Felt like the artsy sibling. Less successful. Patricia twisted that into resentment toward you. In sessions, I own my part. I shut you out, assuming you'd bail. Became the martyr. Jordan facilitated a family mediation, neutral ground under Montana's alternative dispute laws. We drafted a family compact, regular check-ins, shared ranch duties, no major decisions without all voices. Mom thrived, joined a Missoula seniors hiking group, volunteered at the Historical Society preserving frontier tales. Feels like reclaiming myself, she said. I split time, weekdays in Seattle, revamping campaigns, weekends home, tending horses. The drive across Idaho became meditative, time to reflect. One August night, stars blanketing the sky. Ryan opened up. Dad's stroke hit me hard, but I buried it in work. Introducing Patricia? Worst mistake, greed over grief. Laura. I enabled it. Too scared to confront. Mom. We all grieved differently. Lesson. Talk it out. Don't scheme. I smiled, and appreciate the anchors. Without my sacrifice, we'd have lost more than land. Fall brought harvest, apples from Dad's trees. Hay bales stacked high. Ryan invested ethically now, advising nonprofits. Laura's firm boomed. She credited therapy for focus. Christmas approached warily. No ambushes, Mom yoked. We planned simple. Tree from our woods. Gifts homemade. Patricia's sentencing. I testified remotely. She exploited vulnerabilities. But we emerged stronger, forged in fire. Judge. Redemption's possible. But accountability first. Back home. Snow dusted the peaks. We decorated together, Ryan stringing lights. Laura baking.
No tensión.
Just tentative warmth. Dinner Eve. Mom raised a glass to second chances. And Emily, for showing Mercy's strength. Ryan, here. Here. Sorry again. Laura, love you. Cease. I teared up. Family's messy, but worth fighting for. With words, not plots. The light lesson settled. Betrayal hurts. But forgiveness heals, if earned through action. Our ranch stood as proof, roots deep, branches reaching anew. A year on, the Hayes Ranch pulsed with renewed life. Spring calves dotted the fields, and Mom's garden burst with colors, her hands in the soil, steady and sure. Elena's visits confirmed, no lingering effects from the overmedication. You're a poster child for resilience, she told Mom. My Seattle gig evolved into hybrid, 3 days there. Rest remote from the ranch office I converted from Dad's study. Karen praised my fresh perspective. Montana grit meets urban edge. Ryan relocated part-time to Missoula, starting a local investment firm focused on sustainable AG. No more cutthroat deals, he vowed. His service hours turned passion. He mentored at-risk elders on finances. Laura visited often, kids loving the cowboy life. She designed a family website chronicling our history, turning pain into purpose, lessons from the legacy. In therapy, we unpacked layers, my resentment at their absence, their envy of my closeness to Mom. Communication's key, the counselor stressed. Assumptions breed betrayal. Mom led by example, hosted bridge nights sans Patricia types. Shared Dad's stories without sorrow. Life's too short for grudges, she'd say. Patricia's appeals failed. She served time in Deer Lodge. Rumors, she sought rehab inside. We wished her reform, humanely distant. Our second Christmas? Joyful.
Tree lit.
Table laden with ranch fare. Gifts. Ryan's donation to elder abuse prevention in our name. Laura's custom photo book, mine. A weekend getaway for Mom with AIDS. Toasting. Mom said, "Last year taught us greed blinds, but love illuminates. Forgive to free yourselves." Ryan, and check references on helpers. Laughter erupted. The light lesson? Family's not perfect, but with honesty and effort, it endures. Betrayal's test. Forgiveness mends. As snow fell, I stepped onto the porch, stars twinkling. The ranch whispered peace, our legacy, intact and evolved. We turned shock into strength, plot into purpose. In the West's vastness, we found room for redemption.